As a player, you work your whole life, and as a coach, you work your whole life for an opportunity to coach a team like this. This team is special. It's special because it's talented. It's special because it has leadership. It's special because of the character. It could have been a once-in-a-lifetime team. I mean, certainly the team last year, I'll never forget. It was the first time as a head coach, and what they did was awesome. But there was just something about this team that had it.
We thought Ohio State was good, right? We knew that. I think I would have said, if you asked me which is the better team, 2019 Ohio State or 2020 Ohio State, because of Chase Young and Jeff Okudah and the fact that both teams have Justin Fields and everything, I think I still would have said 2019. I think I did say that in the past. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think we had that discussion. And I'm not sure, Steven, did you vote for 2020 Ohio State? Because the world, Ryan Day feels like he's voting for 2020 Ohio State. Matt Miller just voted for it. Mark Pantoni put exclamation points on it. Steven, what did you think of the way Ryan Day described this team as a once-in-a-lifetime type team?
Not surprised that he did that. One, because I don't think we know how good Justin Fields is yet. And I think he does, because obviously he's gotten the chance to develop him over the last 2 years. And we saw 41 touchdowns, and I think he's going to top that. And I think Ryan Day knows he's going to top that. And he knows that the guy he's competing is a guy who might be the number one pick in the NFL draft. So it starts there. He knows what the weapons Justin Fields is going to have around him. He knows what the offensive line is. And the questions are in a place who are being coached by a guy who has consistently produced first-round NFL draft picks. That's the big question about this Ohio State team, is the secondary. So I'm not surprised that – and there's top 105-star guys in the secondary who just haven't lived up to that yet. So I'm not surprised that Ryan Day thinks that this team is probably the best team he's seen as far as his coaching career, mostly because he spent all of last year with a team who was pretty much complete, saying that nobody respected them.
Nathan, were you surprised? Do you agree with the assessment?
It's difficult to completely agree or disagree with the sentiment just because we haven't seen these guys, these defensive guys, especially, that we've been, had some questions about the way that Ryan Day has. So I think that did lead me to think that maybe he has some real optimism for those guys. I also think, though, in this answer, I heard a little bit of, I think there was some emotion there too. He wasn't just talking about from a football X and O's standpoint that it was a really special team. I think there's something about this group with him, that he'll have them for a second year, that he's bonded with this team probably even more so, and especially because of all they've gone through for the past 5 months, that he's probably bonded with this group in a different way than he was able to with that first group. That he was, even though he was still familiar with those guys, that now you're in your second year as a head coach, you're building towards this thing. You went through what you went through at the end of last season, and you saw how people responded to that. I just think all of those things, some percentage of his answer, I think, was emotion too, or just kind of a feeling. It wasn't just football X's and O's.
But also the Clemson thing, I think. Last year's team,
that's what I mean, like losing that game.
Yeah,
that way.
Yeah, because I think last year's team, a lot of that was, okay, let's not have a hiccup. And before the Northwestern game, that was the big thing, is this going to be their hiccup? This team doesn't have that. This team has we were robbed of a national championship. Now we're going to go get what's ours anyway. I think that's where the emotion comes in.
Do you think it would have been appropriate to be like, Ryan, I know this is an emotional time for you. I know you've laid out a very complex plan to save college football, but just real quick, when you said that was a once-in-a-lifetime team, wouldn't you say Chase Young is more effective as a pass rusher than what Tyreek Smith, Zach Johnson, and Javonte Jean-Baptiste might offer you? And how do you think the loss of Jeffrey Okudah will affect the secondary? I might differ with the idea that go down that road. Should anyone have gone down that road with Ryan Day on that emotion?
Yeah, I think there's a way to ask it. Yeah, I think there's a way to ask that. Yeah.
I think that is I don't know if I would have asked him that today. I think that's a question to ask him. I mean, hey, if they play football, if they're going to be playing football in January, I think that absolutely is a question to bring back to him, but going into that, say, hey, okay, we're going to follow up on this question from 3 months ago where you said that 2020 is going to be better than 2 Heisman finalists, including one on defense, and a 2,000-yard running back, and the number 3 pick in the draft at cornerback, and another first-round pick at cornerback. All right, so draw us the line. Like, specifically, what are you seeing? Yeah. There's time to ask that question. I don't think it was today.
I think if they're steamed towards a January season in November, that's probably going to be the first things to ask at that point, because then you can talk football.